Today, guys, is an extremely exciting day for both myself and for the channel because I get to share a guitar from a brand that I had waited years to try and has completely exceeded every expectation I could have possibly had. Let's do it. Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here at my channel, my name is Kyle, and what I do is I typically take all sorts of awesome high gain related guitar gear, I record it with a simple setup, and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. So if you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe so you don't miss any more of my stuff. Thanks! Alright guys, so as you saw in that little intro, I am checking out a guitar from Heritage Guitars today. Now, if you don't know who Heritage Guitars are, and you don't know why that would make me so excited, let me tell you. Back in the early 80s, Gibson decided to shut down their main plant in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and move all of their operations over to Tennessee. When they did that, all of the employees that were at that Kalamazoo plant decided that they wanted to purchase that plant and they wanted to continue making guitars. That was their living, that was their livelihood, and for some of them, that was their passion and they weren't ready to give it up. So they made Gibson an offer, Gibson accepted, and a year later, Heritage Guitars opened their doors in 1984. So essentially what Heritage did was they took a few of the most popular lines from the Gibson lineup and they basically made their own versions of those guitars. And one of the things that's so interesting about the Heritage brand is they have some of the more sought after specs of the earlier Gibsons than the later Gibsons have. Things like long neck tenon, things like no weight relief. And with features like those, some people consider these guitars more of a Gibson than Gibson guitars are. Now, I'm not gonna say that, but I am going to give you my impressions on this guitar. So, needless to say, being a massive LP fan, a massive single cut guitar fan, I have wanted to try a Heritage style single cut for years. And I have never had that opportunity until now. So I have to give my friends at Sweetwater a huge shout for sending out this guitar and sponsoring this video and allowing me to make this happen, and not only make it happen, but to share it with you guys. So with that being said, let's open up this guitar and I'll show you guys why I'm so geeked out about this thing, because let's just look at it. Do the case lift? You can already see, I'm looking at it in the camera, that flame is just incredible. Let's go ahead and pull it out. That's what she said. Is that not just an absolutely ridiculously good looking guitar? I mean, look at the flame on that thing. Ugh. This is the Artisan Aged H150, and this is actually from the standard line. Heritage has two different lines of their models, and they have a standard line and a custom core line, and the custom core line is like the really, really nice plush top of the line model. The standard line, though, I can already tell you, is absolutely no slouch. So they make a non-aged and an aged version of the standard H150, and I went for the aged version in Dirty Lemon Burst. This is actually a Sweetwater exclusive finish, and because of Sweetwater's guitar gallery, I got to hand pick which guitar I wanted. Now, if you guys have seen my recent guitar where I bought a new Gibson Les Paul, a new used Gibson Les Paul, the top and the flame are extremely important to me on single cut guitars. So whenever I buy an expensive single cut guitar, it's gotta speak to me in the pictures. It's gotta have the right top, it's gotta have the right, you know, kind of fade to the finish and everything. So because of Sweetwater's guitar gallery, I got to look at 4 different models that they had in stock, and this one, as soon as I clicked on it, I was like, yep, that's the one, and that is the one that they sent me. So such an awesome service that Sweetwater offers in getting you the guitar of your dreams in your hands, getting to hand pick which one you want and knowing that you're getting what you want. So when you buy the H150, you do get a case with it, and this case is extremely nice. The inside is a very, very soft plush lining here. Let's go ahead and close that up. It is a very, very nice case though, very high quality for sure. And let's get to the guitar. So I actually have had this guitar in my possession for about 2 weeks now, and I've really just been feeling it out because I knew this guitar was special as soon as I pulled it out of the case and kind of started strumming on it. Like, it spoke to me immediately. And yeah, this guitar needed absolutely nothing out of the box. Absolutely nothing. It did not need an intonation. I didn't need to adjust the action or anything. Like, it's set nice and low. It really just feels like it was set up exactly as the guitar was meant to be played. I'm actually gonna plug it in real quick and play a quick little riff for you guys, and then we'll start going over some of the specs on this thing. Build spec. This is built like a typical traditional LP style guitar. This has the 3/4 inch full maple cap. This top is not a veneer. This is a full on 3/4 inch maple cap. And man, what a beautiful one it is. That is sitting over top of a non-weight relieved mahogany body. Now, Heritage, they get their mahogany from a very selective supplier, or at least Heritage is very selective about the mahogany that is sent to them, because they try to keep all of their guitars under 10 pounds as far as I'm aware. Every single one that I looked at on Sweetwater's site was somewhere in the 9-pound range, including this one. This one was 9 pounds 4 ounces. And one of the features of that custom core line is they use even lighter mahogany in those guitars. So if you've always wanted an LP that doesn't have weight relief but isn't a boat anchor, Heritage kind of covers you on that one. And then moving on to the neck, we have a mahogany 59 style C-shaped neck. This is a pretty fat neck, which, you know, I am a fan of, being a fan of very traditional LP style guitars. And then again, don't forget, this thing has the long neck tenon, which means the base of this neck goes all the way down into this this neck pocket, or this neck pickup pocket. So when you pull this out, you'll be able to see the bottom of the neck is all the way down here, where a lot of the newer LP style guitars, that neck tenon is somewhere up in here. And the longer that it goes down into that body, the idea is that it'll give it more stability and more sustain, because the neck is making more contact with the body of the guitar. I have no scientific way of proving any of that, so I'm not gonna comment on it, but I do know that it is a very sought after feature for those who like the, you know, more traditional style single cut builds. I can't stop staring at it in, in the reflection. Moving on to the fretboard, we have a rosewood fretboard, and we have what are called medium jumbo Jescar frets. Now, I had to look up what Jescar was. Jescar is a brand. I had never heard of Jescar frets before, but apparently they use a nickel silver alloy that is stronger, it's more durable, and it's harder, so you get smoother frets out of this than just standard nickel wire, and they will also last longer, they will wear slower over time. And the fact that this thing has medium jumbo frets, I have kind of grown accustomed to more contemporary style guitars. And one of the things that I like about those guitars is they have a little bit of a beefier fret. And I just like the way that that feels. I like how that makes the guitar react, especially under palm mutes and stuff. If you guys haven't picked up already, I am a metal guitarist if you're new to my channel. So if you're here for the dad rock licks, then I'll play one or two, but you're gonna have to look somewhere else for that. But yeah, medium jumbo frets on a very traditional style LP guitar, in my opinion, is just a nice touch. Yes, It looks like a classic guitar, but it is absolutely sounding like a metal machine to my ears. This thing sounds so good. All right, so that leads me to the pickups. What pickups come in this guitar? The standard H150 comes with Seymour Duncan 59 pickups, which is actually what I thought was going to come in this guitar. And I was not mad about that because I actually think that the Seymour Duncan 59 is a very underrated, awesome pickup for metal, especially going into an amp that provides plenty of gain where you don't need the output. The 59 can be a chug machine if you want it to be, but no, that's not what's in here. Looking closer at the specs, this actually comes with a set of the Seymour Duncan Antiquity pickups, which I was actually really excited to find that out because I've been wanting to try these pickups for years. If you're not familiar with the Antiquity line from Seymour Duncan, the Antiquity, the standard Antiquity model, is essentially Seymour Duncan's take on the Seth Lover original PAF pickup formula. It's supposed to be really true to the authentic 59 PAFs and construction, basically down to the small details. The fact that I finally got to try these pickups made me really excited, and I gotta tell you guys, this has not been a disappointment. These things work perfectly. We're gonna hear them through a few different amps once I get done talking, but another nice touch is the pickups are aged like the rest of the finish on this guitar. So before I get to that stuff, let's move on to the other hardware. We have a Nashville style Tune-O-Matic bridge and stop bar tailpiece. These, as far as I can tell, are just zinc, and I'm not 100% sure who makes these for Heritage or if they make them in-house. Actually, I lied. I looked it up and it's Advanced Plating. They make a lot of bridge and tail pieces for other similar style guitars. So for the rest of the electronics, we've got Switchcraft jack, Switchcraft pickup selector switch. We have CTS 500K pots, and we have Vishay 22 UF capacitors. So we've got all the standard goods. I love that these come with all 500K pots as opposed to the 300K that often come in the volume of pretty much any Gibson guitar made from 1980 something to right up until they redid their entire line a couple of years ago. I've always been a fan of 500K pots in the volume section of these LP style guitars because that just brightens and opens them up a little bit more, and when you're playing with high gain, you want all of that top end clarity to come through so things don't get muddy. So I always change those out anyways, but on this guitar, don't have to do that. Moving up to the headstock area, for the nut, we have a bone nut to the headstock. Now, this seems to be the most polarizing part of the guitar for a lot of people. A lot of people do not like this headstock shape or look. I gotta be honest, I'm with you. But let me tell you from personal experience, as soon as I pick up the guitar and start playing, the headstock is the absolute last thing that is crossing my mind because this guitar is such a joy to play. And it's not even so much that it's ugly, it's just kind of boring. It's just nothing special. It doesn't really stand out. And if that's really a reason to not buy a guitar, then hey, you know, that's your choice. But for me, I'm not gonna let it stop me from owning one of the best guitars, if not the best guitar that I've ever put my hands on in my life, because yeah, it's that good. Flipping over to the back of the headstock, we've got some Heritage branded Grover 18:1 ratio tuners. I think everybody in the world that has ever owned any sort of single cut is probably familiar with these tuners because they are standard fare for a lot of single cut guitars, and they feel nice and smooth. There is no play. And then looking at the back of the guitar, you've got the traditional single cut LP neck bump here. A lot of people hate this, but I mean, Heritage is going for recreating the classic LP because that's what the biggest LP market is. All right, so that brings me, guys, to my final point on this guitar, and to me, it's one of the most intriguing and important points. So on this guitar, we have the Heritage aged finish. So not only are the plastics aged, not only are the pickups and the hardware aged, but this finish is aged, and it is done very, very elegantly. Like, this thing to me just looks like an absolute work of art. I will get some close-up shots so you guys can actually just see all the intricate finish checking that's going on here. If you're not familiar with nitro finish guitars, one of the cool things about them is they just age really, really cool. They have a character about them. It's one of the things that people love about buying vintage LPs is to see how they have aged over the years. And I know there's a whole crowd out there that just hates pre-aged or pre-vintaged or relic guitars. I don't care. I think it looks rad. I don't think that there's anything stupid or poserish about owning a pre-aged guitar. It's just a preference. And while I like brand new shiny guitars just as much as I like aged guitars, I do think that there is something really cool about getting a guitar that has been expertly, individually hand aged. These guitars, they do not have the same aging like a lot of the other cheaper models that you might find from other brands where they're pre-relic. Like, this is individually hand aged. So every single guitar will be aged differently. They will all have their own unique and individual character. And I just think that's really cool. And one of the things that I find incredible about Heritage offering this guitar at $2,999, that is what this guitar costs brand new from Sweetwater, is that you're getting a same level of quality and attention to detail guitar as you would get from Gibson's custom shop Murphy Lab, Murphy aged guitars, which cost twice as much. I can tell you, man, this guitar does not feel like it costs half the price. It does not sound like it costs half the price. There is nothing that feels like it is budget about this guitar in any way, shape, or form. I know people are gonna say $3,000 is not a budget guitar. I 100% agree, but in the context of this conversation of hand-aged, made in the USA guitars with individual hand aging, individually hand-shaped necks, all their necks are hand-shaped, so those are gonna be unique to a point. It just blows me away the amount of detail they're able to put on this guitar at the price that they can offer it with. Last but not least, the pickguard. The pickguard is just kind of goofy looking, but if you're like me, when you get a super nice flame top like this thing, good God, that thing is beautiful. I literally can't stop looking at this in the camera. It just looks so good. You're gonna go ahead and you're gonna take off that pickguard anyways. So I'm gonna do that. And that's pretty much the rundown on the specs. After spending a couple weeks with this guitar, guys, I can honestly tell you it's at the top of my list of guitars I own. This thing has been incredible. I love every aspect about this guitar, as far as the playability, as far as the sound, and this whole guitar as a package just seems like it is perfectly balanced tonally, and it sounds so good. And I know this sounds like a massive sales pitch and a sales ad, but truly, guys, this is how I feel about this guitar, and you will see this guitar a lot coming up on the channel because it's gonna get a lot of use. So finally, I've got 3 incredible amplifiers behind me. Let's go ahead and hear how this guitar sounds, because I can guarantee you it sounds much, much better than my voice. Oh, yes, it sounds so good. It doesn't hurt that this cab sounds incredible. It doesn't hurt that the 5150 Stealth is one of my favorite amps on the planet, but the guitar plays a factor. This thing sounds incredible. The action is so low, guys. This thing is such a pleasure to play. I'm so happy to be sitting here playing this guitar and having you guys along for the ride. So I'm gonna shut up and play a metal riff. Oh, this amp sounds so good. Amp, guitar, speakers, everything is working for me right now. Let's go ahead, let's kick this thing into modded Marshall metal territory. These pickups really can do anything that you want them to do, and I'm not getting any sort of microphonics out of them either, which is nice because a lot of PAF style pickups are not wax potted and they feed back under high gain. These things are just, everything is just working right now. All right, time for a thrash riff. Here's a little riff from my band Human Animal for you. This is so much fun. On to the Mezzabarba, probably my favorite amp of the three. Let's do it. All right, these pickups, man, these pickups are incredible. I will say this guitar, a little bit darker than most of my Les Pauls, but that's okay. Like I said, it's got a nice balanced tone. It doesn't sound muddy by any means. It's just a really full and natural sounding guitar, and dude, I'm here for it. I think this thing sounds so good. All right, guys, let's sample the Overdrive channel on the Mezzabarba real quick with a little bit of a slightly lower gain riff. Ah, yes. This is such a good day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm gushing so much over this guitar. I mean, it doesn't hurt that these amplifiers sound incredible, but this guitar plays so good, guys. It sounds so good. It really is one of the best guitars I've ever played in my life. Sweetwater, thank you so much for making this happen. Let's play one more high gain riff and we'll call it a day on this. Finally, the riff that you're all tired of hearing. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me today on the Heritage H150 Artisan Aged What a beautiful masterpiece of a guitar. I couldn't be any happier with this thing. And again, thanks so much to Sweetwater for sending this out, for sponsoring this video, and allowing me to be able to finally play one of these works of art. I'm caught in my own cables up here. But with that being said, what do you guys think about the Heritage line? What do you think about this guitar that I shared with you today? And if you own or have any experience with Heritage, I want to hear about it. Let me know down in the comments of this video. And if you're looking to pick up one of these things for yourself, again, $2,999 is the retail price on this. And if you want to purchase this or any other musical equipment, do me a favor, head down in the description of this video where I will have this guitar linked, and that will be a Sweetwater affiliate link. And anything that you guys purchase through that link, I will get an affiliate commission on. It very much helps the channel move forward, and it shows Sweetwater that you guys are actually watching and engaging with these videos, so they can send me more stuff like this to share with you guys in the future. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time.
You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.